What is up, guys? Ivan here with getivan.com, and in this video we're going to be asking the question, what are the best SEO niches? So I have some answers here, and I'll go into a little bit of detail on each of these points, but let's take a look at what the Google results show for SEO niches when we plop it into the search bar. First result is SEO Quake. They have an unusual answer about what they classify as white and gray niches, so I'm not sure what that's about. I'm going to skip over that one. Another brand, ClicksGeek, they have lists of local SEO niches. They say these are the best to target for SEO. Let's open that tab, actually. That might be an interesting result to look at. SEO Hustlers says 21 profitable SEO niches with low competition. These guys, SEOsuperhero.net, provide local SEO niches, also 42. For some reason, I guess that's a magic number for SEO niches. Here's a Neil Patel video on the 10 most profitable SEO niches. I watched this earlier, and it wasn't what I expected it to be. It was kind of disappointing. Neil does a lot of great content, but I watched the video from Neil and also from Ahrefs, and Ahrefs basically said they had like 5 results, and their recommendations were basically sports websites. So like unusual sports niches that are not as popular, Let's see, detailed.com, 51 profitable SEO niches to dominate with low competition. Let's look at that. That's a few years old, but let's look at it anyways. Lori Ballin says best SEO niches for blogs. You can see in the metadata, gardening, she says, is a great SEO niche. Search Engine Journal, how to do SEO for niche markets. So you get the idea. There's actually not a lot of high authority results on this page, which is interesting. There's a Quora answer, how to find SEO niches. So I would categorize it, before we look at some of these other pages, I would categorize it this way. You have local SEO, e-commerce, affiliate, and trending SEO, and they are all different ways of approaching SEO from a monetization standpoint. Pardon me. And they also that the way that you classify your asset type, the type of website or whatever the thing is you're trying to rank, whether it's like a Pinterest pins or PR or whatever it is, like that's going to determine the way that you're approaching the niche is going to determine how easy or difficult it is to rank, and also the monetization. So that's the way I would think of it. I have a spreadsheet here for my niche-based keyword research, where I was able to scrape and filter through data from excuse me. I think this is taken from Super Pages, so it's kind of like a Yellow Pages utility. So that was only queries that are really locally relevant. And when you sort this by search volume, you can see restaurants and a variety of other niches. Certainly real estate would be a big niche, dentists. So this would be one way to look at it. If you were just to look at local niches, then you could learn a lot just by staring at some data like this. And searches would be one way to look at it. But if you were to go to for restaurants, for example, it would be very low. It would be a lower retainer than a lawyer might be. So you might want to come in here and sort by the average CPC, and then kind of look at niches that have a high CPC in conjunction with a high search volume. So that would kind of be the way that I would recommend looking at local SEO niches, for example. So you can see attorneys, accident attorney, injury lawyer, big niches, insurance, big niche, water damage restoration. I was actually just looking at this niche yesterday. There's a pay-per-call service that offered $300 per water damage lead, and that included flood damage also and fire damage. And so there's a number of contractor niches that are pretty high value in local SEO, because I'm looking right at the moment, I'm looking at making a new affiliate type of asset, and I was hoping I could find something with pay per call opportunities. So we'll see if I can figure that out, and what that might look like. But you can take a look at some of these niches here. A lot of attorneys in the high end of the CPC spectrum. But pardon me, of course, the issue is the more gravity there is, the more competition there tends to be. Now, I have experience to be able to say I've been able to rank in some very highly competitive niches. Like, and I have some client projects where there are some significant rankings also in places where you would think, man, this is really competitive. How's this? You get kind of brainwashed for years thinking that there are certain things you never be able to rank for, and it just happens. Like, things are not as competitive. Like, there are some competitive things out there, don't get me wrong, but things are not as competitive as it seems at times. Like, you have to get pages going, and you have to get link building campaigns going, and then you have to see where Google places your pages. Like, what are the queries that are actually showing up? And then that's where you lean in, you know. Pardon me. You see air conditioning repair. That's a big one there. 60 that we just yesterday I did a video on the channel for how to configure local lead gen page structures for plumbers and HVAC SEO, local SEO. And air conditioning repair is a big niche there, and you can see 60,000 searches nationally per month. It's probably more now, since I did this keyword research with a high CPC value. So, and when you break that down to local rankings to really make the competition a lot more manageable, I mean, this is definitely something that you can make an asset for and rank in some variety of places. So there's a lot of opportunity in local SEO, and of course, you have to have some way to monetize. I prefer things where it's like it's more of the affiliate model. Really, that's what I'm trying to get into, so that I don't have to manage it. It's just sort of automated. So that would be one way to look at that data. And one way is to look at big niches with gravity and then break it down locally. That's the beauty of local SEO, is you can break it down to localities, because every query on Google is personalized to the location of the searcher. So there's a lot of opportunity here, but pardon me, it might be an even better idea to, and I have yet to do any to date to do any sort of affiliate local. Well, actually, that's not true. I have an asset that breaks things down with a local lead gen structure, but it's not really a local service. So you can take e-commerce or even affiliate programs, and you can break them down to localities. Like, that's just a way of approaching. It's just an SEO strategy. But what I was going to say is, it would be better to find something with a certain amount of gravity that maybe is not so well known to just the average SEO marketing individual, because if it's not super easy to find or to spot, then it might be a better opportunity. Let's scroll down here for just a moment. I don't want to take too much of y'all's time. And let's see if we can spot something. Like, if you could find an affiliate program that gave you payouts for a nursing school, there's a lot of volume on nursing school here. That would be an unusual thing I've never heard of or seen before. Let's see, roof repair. Excuse me. Bankruptcy lawyer or divorce lawyers, drain cleaners, siding contractors. Siding contractors is a bit unusual. It's lower volume, but and there's enough contractor terms where you could just make a contractor asset also. And that'd be another argument, is like, instead of thinking about it from a single niche standpoint, maybe think about it from an angle of like, what's like a larger niche where I could rank for a variety of things. Like, one of those sites was saying gardening was a big niche, and that's probably true from an e-commerce standpoint. You could sell a lot of different things, like different mulch and gardening tools, and all kinds of things in the grand scheme of the niche. Certainly in contractors, there's a ton of different contractor pages you could rank, but you could break it down even further and have a whole asset that's just dedicated to one facet. Like, I was talking about this with somebody the other day about how I need to get. I at one point I thought I needed to get a French drain dug around this house here, And then once I got someone to come out and give a quote, I kind of realized that it was expensive and it might have some risks. And they were saying it'd be better to do a a swale. But in any case, the French drain search volume out there is so significant, and it's kind of an unusual niche that people don't really know about. You could make a whole asset based on French drains, based on like drain. Like you could have an asset that's all about like drainage methodologies. Like so, it's a bit weird, right? But if you specialize and there's a significant enough volume in that sub niche, right? Um, everybody talks about the benefits of niching down, but then what if you sub niche down, so to say? If you niche down to a sub niche, then it gets even easier because then your whole asset is specialized to that sub niche. So if you can think about it in those terms, I think local SEO has an enormous amount of potential. Pardon me. Let's see if we can spot another big search volume. Basement waterproofing. That's a big niche. As an example. Let's see here, and in line with that example for French drains, somebody called me the other day, and I was consulting them, and they mentioned, if you can get me ranking for synthetic turf, then it would be tremendous because they were saying their margins are huge for that niche. And the search volume is not that significant for synthetic turf, but apparently there's a lot of money in it, and the competition, like there is, it is common to see competition for turf, but there's not that many competitors. Like it's a specialty field, So that would be an interesting niche. Like probably wouldn't want to do just that kind of site. You could, but it doesn't have nearly as much volume as some other things. So you want to find something a little bit more prolific. Probably something at a national scale with at least 10,000 searches a month, right? Not necessarily though, but if the price of the niche is significant enough, then you could go less, like auto mechanic school. Like if you could get a good price on mechanic school leads, then that might be a really good, like if you could get pay per lead type of structure or rank and rent deals set up for contractor schools, or no, not contractor, trade schools, then you could have a trade school website that has mechanic school keywords, maybe nursing, because nursing's a trade, So well, it's a kind of trade. I don't know. It's not exactly your traditional trade, right? You could do like plumbing schools and electrician certifications, and like that would be a really interesting website, like, and I haven't done a search on that, but I bet that would be a unique way to approach things and would not be super competitive. Let's give another example before we move on to some of these others. Let's see here. Computer security, ant control. Pest control is kind of common though. There's a ton of different kinds of pests for sure. Adoption agencies, that's interesting. Junk car removal. Hey, there's an idea. You could do an asset for like tow companies and junk car removal, and like it could be a car, like a car management type of a car removal sort of website that offers like tow lead gen pages and junk car removal pages, and maybe even repair to some degree. I don't know, like so there's a lot of things like that in the local SEO realm. Like in terms of what's the best SEO niche, like it depends on, obviously you have to have them on it. Don't start anything. I would suggest it's not wise to start something unless you can procure guaranteed monetization. Like some people I've seen out there, they say that you need to get the agreement, get the deal, and then go build the asset. And then and I don't think they mean that you have to get paid necessarily, but get the agreement with the vendor. See if you can find somebody who would pay for that, then take your time to rank it with your own asset. The other thing would be obviously to build it, and then just you can go out there and find someone to pay for the leads. Now, if it's in a big space where there's a lot of contractors, for example, then you're probably always going to be able to sell those leads for something, right? But there are certain risks. Like if it's not a bigger space and you've kind of exhausted your local opportunities, then you might be in trouble, right? Pardon me. So I would suggest that you find you procure guaranteed monetization, before you start anything. And that's one of the reasons I'm more interested in the affiliate opportunities, the pay-per-call opportunities, because then for sure, like I have this asset monetized, and then you can go from there. But yeah, make sure you can procure monetization for whatever niches you're looking at, and then you want to find a niche that's a little bit off the beaten path, like a sub niche of some of these bigger niches, like with volume. So obviously, you need keyword research. You need to use a tool like Keywords Everywhere or SpyFu or something like that to find search volume at scale for a variety of local terms. I will try to provide a link to this spreadsheet below this video, and it's not the most perfect thing ever, but it's enough to keep you busy for the rest of your life. So yeah, I would say the best local SEO niches are the ones with a good cost per click that also have a good amount of search volume, that are a little bit off the beaten path, and then that way you always have public demand from the search volume, and that because vendors are willing to pay a lot for clicks, that there's going to be good money in those niches. So things like lawyers, contractor niches, some of the medical niches, right? And then things that are evergreen in nature, where there's always going to be a demand for them because of the nature of those industries, like usually involving like destruction, wear and tear of things in life. So those are the best local SEO niches I can recommend at scale. And I give you some examples for some things that I would look at and be interested in. But also, of course, the challenge is, if you're going to find, if it's a sub niche, you're not going to find like an easy pay per call or affiliate opportunity for those things. Like you're definitely going to have to contact some of those local businesses and say, hey, I'm interested in doing this, and would you be interested in a rank and rent type of thing or whatever. So you kind of have to create your own opportunities. But that being said, the opportunities out there, I mean, there's thousands and thousands and thousands. Like there's enormous opportunity. Okay, let's move on, because I'm going deep here. Let's take a look at some of the links here for local SEO niches that some of these guys are saying they recommend. So let's see. First is home services, and he gives some justifications and basically all the kinds of services you'd expect, services that you'd see that we were kind of looking at. Legal services, pretty common. Healthcare services, commercial services. That's interesting. So commercial, basically the same stuff. So yeah, those are basically pretty much the exact same things we were talking about there. Let's move on. This website says, SEO Hustler says 21 profitable SEO niches to dominate in 2022. Let's see what they say. Baby clothing. That was one thing that someone else said. It might have been Neil Patel. It might have been Ahrefs that said that was a big thing. Obviously, as long as people are being born, that's always going to be a niche in high demand. Cryptocurrency. So this is, of course, trending, and I don't know. I would say that it's more of a high value niche in terms of display ads, actually, because there's a lot of volume and interest out there. This year, I invested like a few grand into a variety of cryptocurrencies, and I basically broke even so far. I still have some money sunk into some of my crypto, so you can definitely make um, money doing crypto investment, but a lot of it is just riddled with scams and pitfalls, and there's an intense gambling culture in the alt token uh, sectors of cryptocurrency. And so there's a lot of demand out there, and basically places like market cap are search engines for cryptocurrency. So if you wanted to do SEO for crypto, you can make your own tokens over there on market cap, maybe, or even just sit there and comment on tokens and generate traffic to certain places. But Yeah, there are some big offers in the affiliate platforms for cryptocurrency. I think I got approved to do an affiliate offer for this Trezor hardware wallet. So even if you just talked about crypto and then upsold into your Trezor or some, hardware wallets or different software for crypto, there's some opportunity there. I don't know if I would say it's one of the biggest niches to be doing something in, because it's mostly a display ads. I think it's mostly display ad oriented. Like, obviously guys are making money out there, but it's sketchy. Like, a lot of guys do not understand what's really going on, and there's a ton of, I call them moon talkers. Every token, everyone's like, it's gonna go to the moon, it's gonna go to the moon, it's gonna happen, and they're just kind of obsessive and paranoid about in the way that they do things in crypto. So I don't consider it to be a stable niche. Like, are people making money? Yes. Can you make money? Yes. I've personally made money in some of my trades, but it's not like some of these other evergreen. It's not like baby clothing. Like, you're always going to be able to sell baby clothing as long as babies are being born, and some of these other niches, pets, like, as long as people have pets, you're always going to be able to sell pet products. So I just don't view cryptocurrency in the same way. Vaping, there are new studies that people are throwing around talking about how vaping causes cancer, and so I I've seen some. It's also a super spammed out niche. Like, it's one of those niches there's a prejudice against, in that, like, payday loans or gambling websites or pornography or something like that. Like, super spammy, sketchy niche. Vaping is one of those. So people say that it's growing. Like, I see that people talk about this, but I don't see how it can be low competition. Like, as far as I know, it's super spammed out. So maybe there's a lot of demand there. Maybe new product terms are being, created. If you want to rank for brand names of new products, maybe there's an opportunity. But I just consider it to be one of the crummy niches. So I wouldn't recommend that. CBD. Now, you would be surprised. Over on my B2B list gig over on Fiverr, I have received a surprising number of requests for CBD vendors and, like, cannabis product vendors for those states where different cannabis products have been legalized here in the States. And I think I've sold like a dozen lists, for these products. So I've made at least, over $1,000 just from selling email lists for businesses that sell these kinds of products. So I don't support or condone anything having to do with cannabis, really, but I don't really care if somebody asks me that if somebody wants to buy a list of businesses out there, I don't mind selling them that list. But uh, it's not really something that, somebody. I don't think there's necessarily a problem in creating an inbound asset for it's. I would consider it a crummy niche because it's drug related. Any kind of pharmaceutically related niche is kind of a crummy niche. Pardon me, but I don't. It's not something I would recommend necessarily doing, but it's not something that I don't think there's really an issue with, because if you make a website for it, it's all inbound leads, right? So if people are searching for it, there's no reason why you can't connect them to some solution that they're going to look for it anyways. There's nothing necessarily wrong with skimming money off the top, like, while they're looking for it. So I would say I remember looking at the keyword research on this like a year ago or something, and I was really surprised, excuse me, at how low competition some of the terms are for brand names of certain products that are developed for these kinds of things. And CBD is illegal, even here in Texas. Like, I know somebody who has Crohn's disease, and I stopped by a place. I did some research for them, and I found that there was some CBD products that could help them with Crohn's disease. And so I actually there's a place nearby that I went to. This was like a few years ago, and I got them like a CBD drops or something like that they put under their tongue, or they're supposed to help with Crohn's disease. So and I think I drank a CBD coffee. They had coffee there. So if you're confused on the difference between CBD and other cannabis products, you can go do a search on it. But in many places, CBD is legal, even in conservative places here like Texas. Like, so it's not like cannabis edibles or something like that. It's a different type of cannabinoid or orient sourced uh, medical product. Like but it's not this CBD is not hallucinogenic. Just want to make that clear. Like, so yeah, definitely a viable niche. Long story long, right? Okay, oil diffusers. I'm surprised about this one. Like, I haven't done any keyword research on this. Like, but I will say, like, when I was trying to buy an oil diffuser, like a essential oil diffuser, a few years back, I had a season where I bought like a few of them. I was really irritated. Like, none of them worked very well, and I spent there's one I spent like $100 on, and I was even looking at more expensive ones. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in this space. The last time I looked, they were really messy. A lot of the products on Amazon are low quality. Everybody's trying to like flip crummy products. I guess they get off AliExpress or something. So, excuse me. I think there's a lot of opportunity in essential oils. I was even looking at like what when I was trying to find herbal remedies the other day online. I was like, there's got to be a better way of finding some of these, because every time you do like a search for herbal supplements or herbal remedies or holistic remedies, Google is severely prejudiced. They always rank mainstream medical recommendations over holistic recommendations. And so I was even thinking like, hey, it'd be good to build an asset for herbal remedies and supplements or something, and then you can sell oil diffusers, like that whole holistic angle. I think there's a huge amount of opportunity because it's really difficult to find viable websites and pages with recommendations. And I know there's a lot of searches for that kind of thing. Like, there's a big culture for naturalistic health solutions. So I do think that's a huge niche. Murals and wallpapers. I don't know about that. That's kind of wild. So you might have to look that one up. But I don't know how you could sell anything. That's a display ad sort of thing. Provide them for free and then make money on the display ads. Dab rigs. Dab rigs. Is that like a pot thing? Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So maybe that would be a weird one. I haven't heard of that one. Hypnotherapy. Yeah, maybe, but that's not something I would condone. Um, so I would skip over that one. Nootropics, not familiar with that. Actually, I want to search that real quick. Nootropics, sounds familiar. Smart drugs, I guess it's herbal supplements like I was talking about. Cognition and memory that facilitates learning. Oh, I see. Brain brain supplements. I see people sell that stuff from time to time. I think that's junk science stuff. So yeah, I mean, supplements is a big niche. Like, if you go on to ClickFunnels and other affiliate sites, their supplements are possibly the biggest affiliate niches out there. There's a lot of opportunity there, and there's a lot of different kinds of supplements and different kinds of issues that people search. And so I think that's a huge space. I'm debating on starting an asset for that space, actually. Something along those lines. Ketogenic diet. Yeah, keto is pretty big. I think there's a lot of junk science involved, and people on YouTube constantly talking about keto. I think it's kind of garbage, really, but I know some people swear by it, so it's definitely a thing. But I've fasted a number of times, actually, and when it comes down to it, in order to make diet sustainable, you have to exercise. Like, you have to increase your exercise. So that would be I don't feel like I would want to start a whole website on keto, because I think it's just a bunch of baloney. Like, I think it's a trend, and I don't think it's, well, I'm sure it's always going to be around. But anyways, pets is regularly cited as a big niche, and definitely from a cultural standpoint, you look out there and you see videos on, like, there's tons of cat videos and pet videos, like in shorts and things like that. TikTok videos where people are showing stuff from their pets. Like, been seeing a lot of content where people have these buttons where they teach their dog how to communicate by pressing buttons. Like, so pets are always going to be a big niche. People are kind of maniacally fanatical about their pets. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. Teeth whitening. The dental niche in general, I think, is pretty big. Um, you could even make a local lead gen asset and then also double it up as like offering teeth whitening solutions or other types of tooth products. I spent like $150 the other day on. I wanted to get a polisher, a tooth polisher, and you can buy tooth polishing equipment or tooth polisher. You can buy tooth polishing grit, for the tooth polisher, because you can basically all the stuff that you get done at the dentist, you can actually get that stuff, the equipment, for private use, and you can just use that privately, and you don't necessarily. I don't have dental insurance. I have like a dental discount plan, so yeah, I think that's a big niche. Like you could do a whole DIY site on your tooth care, and then just recommend that people get a checkup once a year or something like that. And like, if people take action, then you could have a whole brand showing people how to take care of their teeth, like, privately. Like, anyways, so I do think that's a whole. It's not just teeth whitening; it's all of those products like that people can purchase to use for private DIY like use, you know. But anyways, solar panels. So that solar panels are becoming more mainstream, but it's still regulated in a lot of places. Like, I wasted some money joining a multi-level marketing program like 5 years ago with a friend of mine who uh, he had a buddy who made like 40 grand a month or something selling people solar. But what they were doing is a part of the money they were making was bringing people like me and on into the system, like, and they made promises of support and collaboration, and they never followed through. And so I just said, I'm not gonna work for you. Like, I'm not gonna do this like all by myself. Like, you have to. There has to be some sort of collaboration. Like, and so I'm not a fan of a lot. That's how a lot of the sales are being done, and what they're doing is um, they're selling people like 20-year loans. So they knock on people's doors, or what they like to do is go into Facebook groups and just spam those groups to death in the buy sell channels, and then have someone come out and do sales calls locally. And when they convert, they lock them into a 20-year deal. And so that's how they make their money. They get them to finance $40,000 solar panel installation stuff and things for their homes, and they um, they make commissions on that stuff. So now maybe there's other opportunities for independently purchasing panels and setting up batteries and things like that. But I know that when you have panels attached to your home, that there are city-oriented regulations, and they vary between states and municipalities and stuff like that. Like, when I was into it at the time, when I was in getting into it at the time, or about to get into it, I I saw a news article in Florida after a hurricane. They forced everybody with solar panels to pay for power from the electrical grid so that they could support um, the city. And they said you're not allowed to use batteries, you know. And here in Texas, I don't know, maybe they've changed it now, but at the time, a few years ago, it was illegal to have your own battery connected to solar panels in Texas. So, I think that's unconstitutional. So it's crazy the amount of regulations and things that are stopping people from fully adopting this technology. I'm not a fanatic about it. Like, I'm also interested in geothermal power. If you ever research that, that's similarly interesting. Like, and possibly even more stable than solar power. Um, so there's some really, like, not just solar panels, but if you did an asset on energy, just how to save money, energy watch.com or something, and and did articles on various local energy companies, articles on solar energy, articles on geothermal energy, articles on batteries, where you could sell batteries, affiliate, upsells to batteries, affiliate upsells to, um, like someone just gave me a gift. It was my birthday recently, and they gave me a gift for, it's this is my phone, but it's like a solar powered portable battery that's got USB slots. And so that was just a gift they gave me that I can, I guess, use for whatever. So you could sell stuff like that. Really cool little thing, like for camping or for as a backup in your car in case you lose power and need to charge your stuff somewhere. Like pretty cool products. Like, so I do think that is, if you did a site like that, that could have huge opportunity. E-commerce niche, eco-friendly, vegan protein powder. I, I don't know if I'd say vegan entirely. Maybe there's SEO research that keyword research that suggests that, but supplement stuff in general is very low competition. Well, not very low, but it's somewhat low competition where you can make a whole asset on a specific kind of supplement. I was even thinking a few months ago about making, what if I made a whole asset just on creatine? So really long story as to why I was thinking that, but there's you could do that. Same thing with matcha or a variety of other types of supplements. There's enough volume out there on specific types of supplements where you could make assets just for those things. Shapewear, male medicine, GPS tracking, jewelry. I don't know about fine jewelry. I don't know if the competition is that low for fine jewelry. Now, I do have a customer that I do SEO for and for reputation management who has who is in the jewelry niche, and they have some surprising rankings for some jewelry terms. So I would say there are some things I doubt that you could rank in the jewelry space, but there's a lot out there that you'd be surprised that you could rank for those terms. Um, Anyways, selfie drones. There's probably a lot of opportunity in drones. Drones are obnoxious, so loud. Like if you could find a quiet drone, that would be interesting. Like quietdrones.com, that'd be a cool angle. But yeah, this is actually a good niche. What's this site? SEO Hustlers. Good niche list. A lot to talk about here. Um, I'd say some of the most interesting ones that they covered. Obviously, supplements. Let's see. Supplements and pets. Very specific types of sub niche products. So, anyways, let's move on. Let's see here. What's this website saying? 51 profitable SEO niches to dominate with low competition. Okay, well, let's skim through it since I took so long on that one. Let's see if we can find their lists. It's a big article. Oh, okay. So they just listed it in a strange way. He's saying near me is one of the biggest things to niche down into, but I don't really recommend doing that. I see some people doing that. There are even people making whole businesses like where they title the business, 24/7 emergency room near me, or something weird like that. I don't recommend doing that. I think that's kind of spammy. I don't know how that's gonna last. Let's move on though and see if we can spot bone broth. Interesting niche. Kind of in the supplement realm. Tiny houses. Yeah, I mean maybe it's not exactly an SEO niche though. Like, what are you selling with that? So I would not consider that would be hard to monetize. Like, it's in the same vein as sell your house fast for cash, fast cash houses types of niches, sell ugly houses. Like I've done consults for customers who do sell my house fast for cash types of SEO. So I've done keyword research. I have experience in that. Like if you had a customer to be able to actually sell the leads for that, then sure, there's money there. But it's more competitive. It's more competitive than you would expect. Now you'd have to break that down locally, but there are people doing that. People have local lead gen assets for ugly houses. So I mean, I'm sure there's still opportunity, but it's definitely it requires a specialty approach. GPS car tracking. I'm not sure. I saw this. This was on the other page too. I don't really get that. How is GPS car tracking? Is that like a product? I guess like for LoJack. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Um, so maybe there's opportunity there. I'm not familiar with that. Laserless tattoo removal. Hey, that's a unique opportunity. Laser tattoo removal. Laser tattoo removal. Not sure. Laserless. Okay. He's saying there's a ClickBank product. Okay, so that's actually a viable suggestion there. But there's not much search volume though. So I guess he's saying that if there's a method, it's going to increase in popularity. So what you'd want to do is go laserless tattoo removal, and then you rank for laser tattoo removal or tattoo removal in general, and then the methodology is what you're really selling them on. So it's not really that the niche is laserless. Actually, you in order to get that volume, you just have to rank for local tattoo removal. So what he's putting forth here is not really the sub niche. What he's really putting forth is the great product opportunity, like a developing space, So that's cool, but it's a little different than what he's kind of suggesting. 18-wheeler accidents. Okay, so he's talking about legal upsell into legal services. That's interesting. Car shipping companies. Yeah, maybe. I actually had my car shipped from Oregon when I lived there like 8 years ago, and it was like $900. So probably should have just, at the time, I just didn't want to drive it back, but probably should have just driven it back and used that money to take my time to do that. But oh well. So yeah, there's a business there, but I mean, I guess there's, let's see, auto transporting companies. That's a decent amount of volume. You'd have to look and see how much competition there is, and obviously you'd have to connect it to some kind of an offer. So maybe there's something there. I wouldn't do it just by itself necessarily. Maybe put that into a moving company type of website, lead gen asset, security system reviews. I think home security, like do it yourself, is definitely going to be a thing. Like, um, because the companies like ADT charge a lot of money, and there have been issues here with like it not working as well as it needs to for recording. Like we had a car that was um, where somebody took out the catalytic converter, and we had a camera sitting right there, but didn't activate because it didn't detect, and like it had an internet connectivity problem. So we've had it replaced, and I think that the at home solutions are way more cost effective, and you still record and store data, like, but you don't really need it to be in with like a security company subscription model because it costs way more money over a period of time. So I think there's opportunity there for do it yourself security in general. Like you could have a whole asset on security videos, like how to do video security, how to secure your doorways, The type, like, we've gone through like three different types of locks in some of our doors. Like, I really like the pin oriented locks that are keyless. So we have one door that's pin oriented. Like, we used to have this like Kivo where you could unlock it with your phone, but the problem is like there's just like such a hassle, and then the battery drains like crazy on some of those locks. So you have to find the right kind with the long lasting battery. And even here, I'm sitting here talking to you about it. Like, this, people need to know this stuff. Like, you can have a whole asset on home security that's DIY, and you could, it's not just about like local services that you be upselling, but it's about product. It's about the right kinds of keypads, the right kinds of doorknobs, which doorknobs like are easy to have, maybe to do. There's like whole channels on lock picking, how to rekey a door. Like, I learned how to do that at Home Depot when I worked there before I started marketing. Like, this was like 8 years ago, and pardon me, the security windows to use. And I mean, there's just, you could have a whole niche talking about security. So I do think that's viable, but I don't know, locksmithing and stuff like that. Those types of terms are very competitive. Of course, you could, in the home security vein, you could also have locksmith recommendation local pages. Like, that would be more competitive. But if you started with a low competition set of sub niches and then you built the authority of the site, you could later on add locksmith recommendations and rank and rent pages. And so, yeah, I do think that that is a legit angle, actually. Okay, what's the next one? Millions of parents needs kids party ideas. Well, yeah, just kids website in general, baby clothes, toys. I've been seriously considering, because I have a toy like brand that I started with my niece to do like toy videos. We slowly worked on to do like a video every 2 months or whatever. So there's a huge amount of volume and subscriptions with kids who watch videos on YouTube Kids, for toy videos. So there's a huge amount of money in, I think, toys, just kids assets in general. Anyways, let's see here. Virtual reality. Yeah, people have been talking about how virtual reality is growing, and I'm sure it is. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of VR. I I don't I don't care for VR. So I'm sure in 20 years it'll be much higher quality, and then I'll appreciate it more. But I just don't think there's enough going on for it to be something significant yet. But obviously, like, if you can find an offer, if you can find something to sell, then go for it. Let's see. This guy's saying dab rigs, water pipes, bongs. Yeah, all the people who want to do drugs. Like, there's all kinds of searches for that stuff. So, yeah, not something I want to do. Let's see. How to soundproof. That's cool. How to soundproof a room, a wall, a door, a bedroom. Yeah, you could put that in a music um, asset. I've done a video on how to set up a DAW, which is a digital audio workspace. I use or a workstation. I use Linux Multimedia Studio for my music stuff. I have a synthesizer here. You guys probably didn't know that, but I have a synthesizer over here, and I actually just bought a new synth recently. I had a keytar. I sold my keytar, and I bought a new little synth I could play from bed. So yeah, you could do a whole niche on music stuff and how to soundproof this, and there's all kinds of things between synthesizers and, these are not technically just headphones, these are studio monitors. So you can have a whole page on the best studio monitors ranked, by whatever your brand is called. There's a ton of products you can sell from a media standpoint. The microphone that I use is a Blue Yeti. You could do a whole page on the microphone used. So yeah, like music hardware is it's not just you can't make a soundproof asset necessarily. That'd be silly to do. But I think if you kitted it together with a project that discusses a variety of things, then you could do pretty well. You know what I mean? So that's that's pretty cool, though. That's a surprising amount of search volume. I don't know. It wouldn't be that easy to monetize it, though, because with a lot of those informational terms, you're just going to upsell into foam that they can buy from, some retail store, you know. So I think some of that might be hard to monetize. And some of those common products, they don't have very good commissions from the places you would ideally want to promote them from, unless you maybe just did like Amazon affiliate, but that's a really low commission. Pardon me. Maybe you would, I don't know, like I'm more interested if I'm going to promote something, I really have to believe that it's of value, that it's worth promoting. And then I also like to promote things that are not common knowledge, like really high quality products that are not obvious, you know, and I like to find unique solutions like that. So I'd think about that also. Let's see. Rank and rent, genius rank and rent niche, mommy makeovers. That's interesting. Anything in salon and spa, there might be potential. There's an enormous amount of search volume for things in salon and spa niches, but the problem is monetization. Like, what are you selling? Are you selling makeup? Are you selling hair dye? Are you selling nail art kits? Like, there's a lot of volume, but not a lot of ways to easily monetize unless you're just selling straight up products or, find some sort of like beauty supply website that has an affiliate program. And they're out there, but obviously you have to find, things that you really want to promote. Like, certainly though, it's a big niche with a lot of volume and a lot of potential. Like, a ton of permutations on product types where you could rank, so I think that's really the angle. Not necessarily, I'm not sure what the deal is with mommy makeovers, but anyways, let's move on here. Heavy equipment rental, I've seen people talk about this, renting bulldozers and stuff like that. Pardon me. You have to find a someone to sell that stuff to, of course, but I've seen some people talk about making a ton of money uh, selling high ticket items like that, like jets. So I'm sure that's a thing. Let's see. Small business phone system. Yeah, you see that stuff, but it's it's kind of an abstract, you know, high ticket niche. It's not something I would recommend necessarily. Anyways, sorry, I got lost in thought for a second there. But yeah, there's some good niches I think recommended in here, but it's more about like you want to do a master, and I think the theme here is we're seeing, okay, we can create a bunch of master sites around various topics and then start by ranking sub niches. Some of these might be sub niches worthy of an entire site, but I mostly think that it's all about like finding the parent niche and then creating content niche down, because I mean, some of them might be significant enough to rank sub niche, but you have to do a certain amount of work to create the site anyways. So I guess you have to ask yourself, like, the only reason I would do it is if there's enough cost per click there and I can really break it down and get enough on page boost on my content that it's really worthwhile to sub niche like that. But we covered a lot of e-commerce niches and some affiliate niches in some of those pieces of content people were providing. Let me hop over to a server real quick also and just show you guys my list of e-commerce niches from Google shopping categories. So if you do a search for Google shopping categories, download or something like that, you can find these niche lists. And these are all e-commerce. Well, I'm sure most of them are e-commerce products. So if we were to throw this in, it's actually, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can get specific volume on SpyFu. Let me see if I can throw this in and maybe into a tool, and maybe we can see what kind of data it shows for this list of niches. Let's see here. What do we got over here? So let's do a quick look and see bulk upload. Yeah, it's only going to let me do 1,000. Too many keywords. Shoot. Yeah. And I think there's a limit in keywords everywhere also. Bulk traffic metrics. Bulk keyword data. Oh, okay. Up to 500,000. Okay, so they expanded it. Oh, no, wait, that's keyword keg. Okay, let me try this. Oh, nice. It's processing it very quickly, actually. So let's take a quick look at this data and just kind of see from an e-commerce SEO standpoint which niches stand out. So let's sort this by CPC. I'm actually surprised that this tool let me do that many keywords. And then I want to sort by things that have a minimum of 10,000. So home alarm systems, nice. Plumbing, promotional items, let's see, stair lifts. Wow. There's a lot of search volume on stair lifts. 60,000 searches a month? That's wild. Hey, so you have like what if you had a website that was like impairment products? So you'd have products for people with impairments, like you have products for this, where you sold crutches, you sold maybe arm slings, you sold stair lifts, you sold uh, utilities to like glasses for blind people or something. I mean, I don't know what kind of glasses they need, but you sold walking things. I mean, that is a really weird idea, but I mean, it could work. You just have to find you have to find an affiliate opportunity to rank to monetize. Or guess you could maybe drop ship from an e-commerce standpoint, but yeah, that's a wild approach. Let's see, video conferencing. There might be affiliate program for those softwares. Astronomy supplies. Hey, that sounds interesting. What is astronomy? Is that like a colon product? What is astronomy? Surgical opening made in the skin when a problem is not allowing a part of the body to function well. Hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, that's not colostomy bags, I guess. That's the kind of thing. Urostomy, colostomy, ileostomy. Hey, that's a great niche right there. 12,000 searches a month. Shoot. I'm about to look this domain name up. You could about to snag this up if it's I like to use Uniregistry, by the way, just the search, and then I almost never buy domains from Uniregistry. Usually get them from Cloudflare because they're the cheapest, or NameSilo, or actually, you know what the cheapest is? I did research on this recently. The cheapest with the best like volume and uh, some other features is pork bun. I never used them before, but long story short, pork bun, check them out for buying domains. But okay, let's look at astronomysupplies.com. And let me make sure that's correct. Oh, ostomy. I'm sorry. Ostomy supplies. Yeah, I don't know what astronomy is. Let's look at ostomysupplies.com. That's taken. Shoot. But there's going to be a variation somewhere. Like, you get some kind of variation like that. Astronomy or ostomysuppliescenter.com or something, Anyways, but hey, that's a great opportunity right there. Window treatments. Nice. That's Google Shopping though. Print books, industrial supplies, that could be good. Hair loss treatments. There you go. 90,000 searches a month. Business. Wow. Is there that many searches a month for business cards? Man, I need to make some local pages for business card design. Gee whiz. Gutters. There you go. Gutters that you don't have to clean. With a cover that you know that would be a good niche to sell a product for. Contact lenses, office furniture. Let's see. Water softeners. That's interesting. SIM cards. What's a microtome? Microtome is a specialized precision cutting instrument which accurately and repeatedly slices sections from a block of embedded tissue. Different kinds of microtomes are used to section paraffin and plastic embedded tissues, as well as specialized microtomes used to section frozen tissues. Oh, microtomes for sale on your science blog. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. If you wanted to sell science equipment, apparently there's a surprising amount of search volume for that. Water softeners. Let's move on. I'm going to get lost in that thought. Baby formula. There you go. Contract mobile phones. Hey, this is a big one. I spent a lot of time a year ago or two looking for mobile phones with their own, that were phones and phone services where I could get my own unique, like, SIM card based number, because I was trying to see if I could get cheap mobile phones for use with MobaNet so I could get cheap mobile proxies. And I looked through a lot of solutions, and I actually never did a follow up video on this for the channel. But I bought these phones from eBay to test with the method, and I still have them back there. I still haven't totally finished the process, and I paid for a trial through T-Mobile because you can get like $30 a month on some of these plans, right? And it's a lot of trouble, right? But if you could find some contract mobile phones, like, and really articulate the benefits of those things, like, I think there's a lot of opportunity, not just in this keyword, but there are many other mobile phone variation like terms. So, you could do a whole asset. I mean, a whole text asset is what you could really do, and have a never-ending supply of things to talk about. But if you just did a phone asset, there's a lot in that field, and certainly you could even branch off into proxy categories. Anything a phone is used for, um, pardon me, you could upsell into a variety of things. So that's pretty cool. Carpet cleaners, geez, woodwinds. I don't know how many people are buying flutes, but that's an interesting thought. Hand dryers. Anyways, you guys get the idea. You saw what I did. If you put $10 into keywords everywhere, paste your e-commerce oriented keywords, sort by CPC, and then put a limit on the search volume, you can sit here and have a never-ending supply of SEO niches available. Uh, you could do that stuff for the rest of your life. let's see how many. I'm going to keep this tab open actually. Looks like it filtered it by half when I created that criteria. So that's pretty cool. But and some of these are like really simple terms also. They're obviously not showing service variations. I might want to do permutations on buy, like put the word buy before there, or uh, online afterwards, so I could see where's the CPC really live at, you know. But anyways, okay, let's move on. So that's what I would do for e-commerce SEO niches. So I showed you my solution for local SEO. And you know what? I might just export this into a file and then put it into Pastebin. So look below this video for my link to local SEO niches, and also I'll do one for the PPC. I'll do one for the e-commerce SEO niches also. And then affiliate SEO niches. Now, for this one, I recommend that folks just go sign up to ClickBank, OfferVault. What's the other? Commission Junction, CJ.com, etc. Actually, you know what? The one I really like is that's broad that I really like is Share a Sale. I really like Share a Sale. Their interface and how you interact with the vendors, you know. But and also you can just find affiliate programs straight from certain services. But I would recommend just I'm not going to give you a list of affiliate niches because I'm working on, you know, making branching into affiliate SEO myself. So I'm kind of going in a bunch of different directions trying to figure this out myself. But ClickBank is really popular, so is OfferVault. I'm also interested in one I'm looking at right now is Market Call. So they have, well, I just signed up. I might as well just look at this with you guys. But they have pay-per-call opportunities, and you can see solar inbound calls for $48, Medicare Spanish, $48, some health insurance for $40. Let's see, I'm not sure what some of this stuff is. Don't know what MVA is. Medical alert inbound calls, debt settlement in Spanish, $40. Because one thing I was thinking is like, what if I just did PR? You know, what if I just did some really big PR to some of this stuff for phone calls? Because with a lot of other things, you have to fill out a form or you have to like make a purchase, right? But and that involves clicking on a link and going to consuming content on a page, having some sort of educational process. But this right here with phone calls, you eliminate a step in the process to the sale or to the lead capture process of a form, right? With a phone call, they just make the phone call and look, they pay you 90 seconds. Once they're when they stay on the call for 90 seconds, you get $40. So it's like the click is the phone call. It's a shorter conversion mechanism, right? And you get paid for it. So it's like if I can just get paid for the call, and I don't even need to have a sophisticated asset or all this stuff, like it might be better. So I'm not experienced with pay-per-call, but just kind of talking out loud for you guys to get some ideas. Pest control for $35. 2-minute call, 2 minutes there to qualify as a lead for $35. Excuse me. HVAC, and some of these are probably lower, you know, than what you could get paid, because obviously the clicks, they pay more for the clicks in a lot of these niches than what they're offering here for the calls. But you know, like if it costs you $500 to do a local PR somewhere, right? And then maybe you spend $500 on links right? To rank that for a small town, you know. So you spend, let's say you spend $1,000 and then you're making $30 on a phone call, you know, but you're ranking in that region and you're getting paid after they sit on the phone for 2 minutes. Then, you know, what is it? Let's see here. 10 calls would be $300. 30 calls, you know, you almost break even. 30, I guess 33 calls or so. After 33 calls with 2 minutes, 2 minutes apiece. So let's see, so two times 30 is an hour, right? So after like an hour of generated leads, like you can break even with that kind of idea. So I haven't tried it yet, but I'm just saying that's an idea in terms of like the pay per call monetization. In this case, it's mostly local niches, but you know there might be other opportunities too. Like, anyways, that's one thing I'm looking at. Market call. And there's some other pay per call platforms out there. There are all kinds of ClickBank opportunities. I was looking at them recently. There's a lot of ClickBank opportunities for supplements, and pardon me, there are. Let's see. I was looking at Offer Vault. I should have a tab open somewhere. I may have closed it. There are a lot of. I remember seeing a lot of Offer Vault opportunities for cryptocurrency deals, and certainly there's insurance opportunities. As you can see, there's insurance abounds. Different kinds of like ebooks and courses. Um, so yeah, I'd recommend just signing up on these pages and just looking at some of those affiliate opportunities, like, but all kinds of, mostly they're digital, obviously. Anyways, and the last one would be trending SEO. So if we go to trends.google.com, the idea here is that you're looking at various trends. Where's the latest lists? Recently trending. So you look at this stuff and you figure out, okay, what has a likelihood of trending on a regular basis, and then you make assets that are just designed around content. So your monetization method here is mostly focused around impressions. So the more traffic you get, the more you make from display ads like Google AdSense or Taboola, or you know, some of those native ad platforms maybe that you have stuff on. Now, news sites make a lot of their money just on those kinds of native ads and through, you know, trending content. And if you, to make this, to shorten the story here without looking through a lot of trends, I've actually sat around for some hours just reading a month worth of trends, and or a couple months or whatever, and I noticed three things trend regularly: sports, entertainment like celebrities or movies, right? And politics. So if you made a website that talks about any of those three things, then you'd have the ability to trend on topics every day. So if we look through here briefly, like you can see sports, politics, sports, celebrity. So that would be entertainment. Of course, this, yeah, celebrity, entertainment. What's this here? Entertainment. That's music. Sports, entertainment, because it's celebrity, some celebrity individual. Actually, I don't know who Brittany Griner is, but in fact, I wouldn't even put entertainment. I would put celebrity. And I guess you could put media, celebrity or media. 'Cause, I mean, they're pretty similar, but celebrities could be in different categories, not just entertainment. So I would also put, like, when you talk about people, like people's names regularly rank way easier than a lot of other things. Same thing for company names, hence the whole reputation management field. Um, excuse me. This one here, stiff person syndrome. So that's sort of science. Science does rank, but you'd be surprised. Like, it does not rank nearly as there's not nearly as much trending information on science topics as there are for the other topics. So that's really Celine Dion. That's celebrity. Game Awards. That's media. Meghan Markle, celebrity. Boy in the Box. Let's see. Either celebrity or local. Not really sure what that's about. Nick Carter's celebrity. Armored Core. That's media. That's a game. Let's see here. Sports. Celebrity and media. Media. So that's a movie. Media. You get the idea. I mean, we've gone through just a variety, and you've already seen that, like, they all fall into those 4 or so categories. So it might be wise, like, if you did a sports asset, for example, then there's a lot of products that you could sell, e-commerce products. There's a lot of some affiliate things you could sell, some affiliate e-commerce offers you could do. Pardon me. There's a lot of volume on trading cards, actually. Um, but yeah, if you could find a way to cross over, you could do some of that in all of your kinds of assets. But if you just wanted to sit around and gossip, and talk about a bunch of junk, then you could find things to periodically upsell as you go throughout, but you could make a lot. Like, when you create a post on anything trending, then you have the opportunity to jump up and to trend in that space. Pardon me. And so it's certain also, if you do, there's a number of things you can combine with it in terms of off-page signals. And so that would be another thing you could do. But anyways, those are what I would consider to be the best SEO niches on various categories. I'm sorry this video went on so long, but as you can see, it's just a ton of valuable information for being able to find SEO niches, whether you're looking locally or at e-commerce or affiliate, SEO, or, trending topics, etc. Like, huge numbers of opportunities. I'm getting ready to build a new asset, and I'm really conflicted. I have a lot of opportunity to make assets for a number of things. A big thing is figuring out a way to make it easy to deploy the content. There's a lot of ways to do things. I like to do things with HTML sites now, but of course the problem is you have to sit around for a whole day, pretty much, and plan out your site structure. In my last video, we looked at site structure for just like plumbing and HVAC, and you can see there's so many different local SEO permutations and variations you have to keep in mind. And structuring pages are a big deal for on-page SEO and internal linking and silos. And so it takes a lot to make the plan, and I'm getting ready to decide what I want to do and probably make a plan in a spreadsheet, just in Excel, and then just drop content into cells. And then I'd probably send that over to I usually use something like Bootstrap Studio to make some of my own pages, but like certainly my own site. But I think I want to use some different templates, and I might just hire somebody on Fiverr to just do the page structures, or to create like a template, HTML template that has like find replace values, and then I might do a follow-up video where I can then just use Scrapebox and spreadsheet programs to then combine that HTML and generate a whole website of content using that kind of method. Like, and that's one way to do it. Like, if you just wanted to create static content at scale, that would be one thing I'd probably do for a local SEO asset, and possibly an affiliate SEO asset also. But because I like to be able to just deploy the asset and then just focus on link building and not, constantly have to go in and blog and things like that. But there are other content management systems, like if you wanted to use Blogger or if you wanted to use Medium. One thing I added recently is I started doing some projects over here on Substack, which I really love. It's got a great interface. I just started. Where's my tab? Okay, here we go. So I just started switched over my KJV Cards brand over to Substack, and it's really simple. It's just a feed on the homepage. It costs a one-time fee of like $60 or something to tie a custom domain to the Substack interface, and then you can charge a subscription for premium membership. And so you can basically get lifetime hosting for your content using this model, and you can manage the subscription model using Substack. So this is kind of a long story with this asset, but you have your header taxonomy, then just a feed of posts. So it's one way to do things, really simple way to do things, and if you wanted to offer a paid subscription, it also would be really good for just informationally driven content. Like if you wanted to set yourself up as an influencer in some sort of topic where you like to talk about different things and have a membership where your folks are able to get certain benefits, Substack is perfect for that. Like, but yeah, you could, and that's not totally relevant to SEO niches, but it makes a difference to me to be able to determine like what's the model here. I was even thinking about, like I said earlier, I'm thinking about maybe just having a method where I just do like PR and just try to rank PR so I don't have to mess with a website all the time, and figure out, is there a way I can easily set up just like a really broad asset that just has landing pages that the PR can be connected to, or just figure out a way to do that very generically so I'm not jacking around with content all the time, and I can just like maybe do PR and push out and get some rankings that way so I can just focus on link building. Another thing would be maybe setting up like Pinterest. Like I've mentioned this in other videos, like I saw a guy talking about if he could start over, he would do ClickBank and Pinterest, and he'd just set up pins and then try to rank those pins. I think it's a good idea actually, because those pins rank. So just setting up a Pinterest profile, and you can get the social media traffic and also the SEO rankings on the pins, and whatever is going to make it as easy as possible to set up the content and the offers, and then we can just build links to drive traffic, right? To just get those rankings, like, because there's so much time wasted and there's so much latency in the setting up of the asset and doing the content and all this different stuff, and really what you want is to figure out, okay, how can I just get to the point where I'm ranking for something, that's the goal. So yeah, I don't have it totally figured out yet. I have a lot of really neat ideas, like for things that I want to, I really have like several domain names that I need to take advantage of right now in different spaces. And I have a really good one for supplements. I have a really good one for toys. I have a really good one for um, some local niches, actually, where I was surprisingly able to get some exact match domains for some things, and a variety of other niches. So there's a lot of opportunity, but it's a matter of like, what do I want to start? What's the most optimal way to do it? How do I keep it as simple as possible? That, to me, that's the hardest part of all this, because it's really easy to say, I'm going to have this big website and I'm going to do this big project, right? And then you spend forever trying to set up this site and get this content going. And you need it to be really simple and fast. You need to be able to whip out content really quickly. And it needs to be ready. You need to have things that are ready to go, and that's the most difficult part, is getting to that place where you have something viable that's worth ranking, that's actually capable of ranking, that's prepared to rank, and then you're able to just put money into build your link building budget to get that ranked. So that's what I would be thinking about. I'm gonna be working on that myself, and working on simplifying the process. But really, like, they're all viable. Just what's the best way to approach it? I guess I would say, if I had to give a definitive answer, is to maybe ClickBank, maybe a direct affiliate program that's affiliate oriented, where you can just get the click through on the link, and if they decide to do something, then you make a commission, right? The pay per call thing might be really huge. Like, if you could find creative ways to just get that phone number out there for those sites, that could be pretty awesome. Um, so the best niches are going to be the ones that are the most, like we talked about earlier, high CPC, high search volume, but they're really weird. Like, they're off the wall, they're sub niches, and they're going to be easier to rank, and you're going to have a conversion mechanism that allows you to easily profit in those niches and expand if you want to. So that's my very long answer. Thank you for watching. If you watched, I hope you got value. Don't forget to check out the links below, and I'll catch you later. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.